Welcome everybody, this is Julie. Welcome to the Saturday morning foundational class at Village Yoga. Please check out the Village Yoga website. It has information on a very exciting Yoga Nidra training and practice that you could get involved in. So just go to their website for the details. And there's several other things that are happening as well in the studio. So please check it out and see what you think. It might be something you're interested in. So today we're going to do a foundational flow class. And just listen to your body, move at your own pace, and do as much as what suits you for today. You can always put it on pause and come back to it another time, the beauty of video. And let's get started in an active child's pose. I hope everybody's well. I'm glad you're still following the videos here at Village Yoga. And I'm seeing some of you at the studio as well, so that's really nice. Okay, so active child's pose, starting at your hands and knees, then opening your knees wide, toes touching behind you, and walking your hands forward, shifting your hips back, maybe resting your forearms down, and bringing your forehead down to the ground, and just settle into this place. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and out through the mouth. And two more, inhale and exhale. And one more deep inhale. And any tension in the body, let it go. Now begin to breathe in and out through the nose only. So take a deep inhale for a count of 3, 2, 1, and exhale 3, 2, 1, and continue breathing deeply in and out through the nose, lengthening your inhales and mirroring your breath, your inhales with your exhales. Take 3 more just like that. Walking your hands over to the right side of your mat and extending longer through your left hand, reaching beyond the right hand or stacking the left palm on the right, and just stretch out your side body. And then crawl your hands back to center line and take a breath here. And walk your hands over to the left side of your mat, stretching out your right side, breathing deeply. And walking your hands back to center. Now set an intention for your practice. Just set whatever word comes to your mind. Allow that to be your intention for this practice. And then rise up to your hands and knees. So hands and knees, look down at your hands and spread your fingers wide and evenly. Push into the pads, firm into the knuckles, align your wrist and your shoulders. Ground down through your palms and the tops of the feet, maybe the knees and the shins. And then draw your belly in, keeping your belly toned in. As you lift your sit bones, lift your chest, take your gaze up on the inhale for your cow, moving slowly. And then exhale, round into the back gaze to the navel, to your mad cat. And inhale, soften into a cow, gazing up. And exhale. exhale, round into your cat, gaze to the navel. And again, inhale, dropping your belly down, your navel down, although you're keeping it toned in and back. Sit bones lift. Spread your hips apart. Push away from the ground, really taking a nice deep cow posture. And exhale, round into the back. Maybe begin to bend through the elbows. Going a little deeper into different places along the spine. And just rocking, inhale cow, exhale cat. Maybe rolling your hips from side to side. Let your head go, jaw relax. Cow and cat, in whatever direction you went. One way, move it in the same direction the other way. Neutralizing your cow and your cat. And then we're going to come into a twisted puppy. So your knees are open, your toes are touching. And you can reach your right arm up towards the sky, gazing to the right corners of your eyes. Weave the right hand through, right shoulder down, right ear down, left arm forward. Breathing deeply. Maybe taking that top arm up, back around, reaching for your inner thigh, opening through the heart. And using your left hand to bring yourself back up, let's go to the other side. So reach the left arm up, gaze up. Weave the left arm through the right, ear down, shoulder down, right arm forward. Maybe take that arm up and back behind you, reaching for your inner thigh, opening through the heart, breathing deeply. Using your right hand to bring yourself back up. So from here we're going to go down onto our stomach. So just set yourself up on your mat, laying down, and tee your arms out to the side, shoulder distance. And taking your right hand towards your chest, roll to your left side. So you're stacking your ankles, your knees, your thighs. And maybe go further by bending the right knee and opening through the hips. Maybe taking your right hand back behind you as you reach for your side body. Just working into the front of that left shoulder and breathing carefully into it. And then coming back. Rolling back around, taking your right hand out, left arm in, and then taking your time as you roll onto your side, stacking your hips, maybe bending that knee and reaching back for the waistline as you're breathing. And rolling back around. Now extend your arms nice and long and just stretch out from fingertips to toes. And take your hands back behind you and interlace your palms. And keeping the tops of the feet down, inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, lower down. Again, inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, lower down. And one more time, inhale, lift your chest, lift your toes, reach through your arms, lift up a little higher for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lower down. Now taking your hands to your chest, working your elbows in towards your rib cage and back down towards your heels. Pressing away from the ground to just inhale, lift into cobra, and exhale, lower down. And inhale, lift into cobra, and exhale, lower down. And inhale, lift into cobra, and exhale, lower down. Now inhale, straightening your arms from cobra, but your knees can be down and open your chest. So think about grounding in your front body and find this like curve in your lower back, in your mid back, not into your lower back. And exhale, lower down. And one more time, inhale, lift up the straight arms, gaze up, and exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift yourself to your hands and your knees, and shift your hips back toward your heels. And take one breath in active child's pose. Inhale, lift yourself to your hands and knees. From your hands and knees, walk your hands slightly forward. And then round into your back as you take your hips closer to your wrist and let your chest move through your shoulders, open through the heart. And then exhale, round into your back, into a child's pose. And roll yourself up, working your hips towards your wrists, your chest through your shoulders, your heart open. And again, rounding into your back, hips to heels, chin to chest, rolling your way back up, hips to wrist, chest through shoulders, heart open, and then gently just coming back to your hands and knees. So from your hands and knees, tuck your toes under and begin to lift your knees up as you work into your first downward facing dog with your heels moving back and down. Maybe you choose to step your feet a little closer to your hands so your bandha, the center of the pelvic floor, is engaged. Your Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, the transverse abdominals are drawn together. Your biceps are to your ears. Your gaze is through your legs to your navel, and your sit bones are lifting higher. And you're taking 2 more breaths. Deep inhale for 1. And 1 more breath, 2. Now either drop your knees and take a breath in your child's pose, or you can keep your toes tucked under, or you can stay in down dog for 1 more breath. So if you stayed in down dog from downward face, if you went to child's pose, lift up and back into downward facing dog, so we're all there meeting together. Now lift your right leg out, 3-legged dog. Lift the leg hip height, push through the heel. Now point through the toe and lift the leg higher. Maybe bend the knee, take the knee to the sky, stack your hips. Just find a little bit of a twisting action as you roll your ankle in one direction and maybe the other. Maybe spread your toes apart, just feeling into your feet. And then extend the right leg out and lower it beside the left. And inhale the left leg out, 3-legged dog. Reach to the heel, point the toe, lift the leg higher, bend the knee, take the heel to the right buttocks, open through the hips, stacking the hips, and rolling your ankle one direction, and then the next. Extend the left leg out, and lower it beside the right. Gaze between your hands, and slowly walk your feet to your hands. Inhale to a half lift, so your hands can come up your legs, your shoulders draw back, your knees can be soft, straight spine, straight arms, and then exhale, just fold forward and melting down towards the mat. And then inhale again, half lift, gazing to the tip of the nose. And exhale, fold it in, just releasing, letting go. And one more time, inhale, half lift. And exhale, releasing down, folding forward. And toe heel your feet out so they're hip distance apart, or maybe wider. Ground down through your feet, bend your knees slightly. Reach for your inner elbows. And just let your head hang loose. Taking your gaze north and south in a yes action. Whatever form is in front, bring it to the back. And roll your chin shoulder to shoulder in a no. You're just releasing through your neck. It's your cervical spine. And you're softening through your back body. Getting a nice deep stretch. Breathing into the places that are tight. And then release your hands down. Now bend both knees and keep your left hand grounded as you reach your right arm up and gaze towards your right corners of your eyes, twisting for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And bring your right hand down. Keep that both knees bent, or the right knee bent, and open the left arm and gaze to the corners of your eyes, to the left corners of your eyes for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And take your left hand down and gently trace the hands up the legs. Letting your head be last to lift. Shrug your shoulders up and back once or twice. And find yourself standing back the front of the mat in Samastitihi. So your toes touching, heels touching, or your toes touching, heels slightly apart, or your feet might be hip distance apart if you're pregnant or back injured. So we're going to set up for some sun salutation A's. So ground down through your feet. Draw your inner ankles towards one another to the center line. To the inseam, draw your knees together, your thighs together. Find that Mula Bandha, center of the pelvic floor is lifting up. Uddiyana Bandha is drawing back. Engage your rectus abdominis. Lift your chest. Open through the collarbones. Externally rotate through the shoulders. Work your shoulder blades gently together. Let your palms draw towards one another. Lift your chin, draw it back, gaze to the tip of the nose. Find your breath, take a deep inhale. And exhale. Then rooting down through the feet as you rise up, reach your arms forward and up. Gaze up to your palms. Inhale. And exhale, you dive forward. Remember the breath is ahead of the movement. And inhale, a half lift. You can take your hands up your legs if that helps. Taking the hands down, softly, gently step back into your high plank and hold your high plank here for 2 breaths for 1, 2. And just drop your knees. Let your tops of the feet come down. Draw your chest, your elbows back to your rib cage, your chest through your shoulders, and coming down, hovering and pressing away to lift into a cobra. And then tuck the toes and rise up and back into your downward facing dog. Gaze into your navel and take a full breath here. And gazing forward, gently step your feet to your hands and come to a half lift with the inhale. And exhale, fold in deeply. And inhale, rise up. Arms can go forward and up as you bring your palms together overhead. And exhale, dive forward, reaching for the ground, slowly, intentionally. Moving, inhale, half lift. And exhale, back plank. And from your plank, either knees dropped or lifted, moving through a chaturanga where you hover, or you may come all the way to the earth and press away into your cobra or your upward facing dog. And tuck your toes back into downward facing dog. Gaze to your navel and take a full breath. And gazing forward, stepping your feet to your hands into a half lift. Exhale, fold in. And inhale, rise up. Gaze up. And last one, exhale, dive forward and reach for the earth. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, back plank. Knees lifted or lowered. Chaturanga. Press from the earth as you lift into an up dog or cobra. Roll over your toes into a downward facing dog. Gaze into your navel. Take a full breath here. And gaze forward. Step forward into your half lift. Exhale, fold in deeply. And inhale, drawing energy, the prana up. As you come back to standing in Samasthiti and equal standing. So from here, we're going to bend our knees into Utkatasana. Bend our knees and reach our arms up as we gaze up, keeping your chest nice and open. And then bringing your hands to your heart center, so I'll face forward here for a moment. So now your hands at heart center and your knees are bent. And you're going to balance on the left foot. Now, for some people, their balance can be very challenging. So if it's too challenging to cross your shin over your left knee and keep your knee open, you can take your right foot down, cross it over, and use this as a support system. You can also put a block close to your left foot, and then your foot would still be on the block a little higher crossing perhaps. So if you can create that figure 4 action, and remember the balance comes from steady breath, from a steady gaze. You don't want to be looking around all over because you tend to move where you look. And then draw your belly in as you fold forward, and maybe hook your left elbow with your left foot. This is a Saturday morning, more of a beginning type of class, more foundational. So I'm not going to take it further than this today, but we can stay here for 2 more breaths. And then slowly press away from the earth to lift yourself up and release your right foot next to your left. And then come back to standing. Now, Utkatasana, bend the knees, gaze up, look up. Hands come down to your heart on the exhale. Left foot crossing over the right, whatever your setup was. On one side, you can move to that same setup on this side. And just find your breath for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And draw your bandhas in, keep them drawing in. As you fold forward, stay steady with your gaze. Maybe hook the toe and the elbow for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And then slowly lift yourself back up and uncross that left leg. Reach your arms up from Utkatasana, gaze up, look up. Bring your hands to your heart this time and just straighten through your legs. So we're going to continue to move through on our flow foundation of many practices. So bend the knees, sink the hips, gaze up, look up, Utkatasana. Fold forward, reach for the ground, Uttanasana. And a half lift, gaze to the horizon. Exhale, step back into your plank. Move through your Chaturanga Dandasana. Press away into a up dog cobra. Roll over your toes into a downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg out behind you. Draw the right knee towards the right elbow, maybe tap it. Inhale, extend it out. Take the right knee to the left elbow, tap it. Inhale, extend it out. Take the left knee to the center line, chin to chest. Inhale, extend it out. Make your way to where your right foot comes between your hands and find your way into a runner's lunge. Maybe your fingertips are touching. Maybe you're grounding down through your knuckles. Maybe your palms are down. And then drop the left back knee down. As you flex the right foot, shift the right hip back. Reach your hands forward. Just stretching out in a half Hanumanasana. And breathing here for 3, 2, 1. And then rolling over into a runner's lunge again. Just stretching out, drawing this right hip back and down. And then shifting into Hanumanasana, the right hip draws back, the heels reaching forward. Take 2 breaths here for 1, 2, and rolling back once again. This time take your hands above the knee and just work a little deeper into this posture. You can either have the back toes tucked under or the tops of the feet could come down. Open through your chest. And then release your hands back down to the mat and tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee up. Ground down through the back edge of the back foot, sitting up for a warrior 1. So the front knee stays bent. The back leg is straight. And press away to lift up and rise up to your warrior 1. Either your arms may be open, if this gives you a nice opening through the chest, or shoulder distance apart, or palms together as you gaze up and breathe deeply. Now take your hands out, reach back around for your palms, open through your chest, and gently humble this warrior as your chest comes forward and your hands come up and over your head and your chin draws in for a breath. And then reaching back up into your warrior one position. Arms rise up. And then reach, reach, reach forward. Take your hands down. Stepping your right foot back and up into a three-legged dog. And drop the right foot beside the left. And just drop your knees down and shift your hips back. And take a breath here in a child's pose. And lifting back into your downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg out behind you into a three-legged dog. And draw the left knee to the left elbow, maybe tap it. And inhale, extend it out long. Take the left knee to the right elbow, tap it. And inhale, extend it out. And draw the knee to the forehead, chin to chest. And extend it out. And gazing forward, step that left foot in between your hands. You may need to use your hands to get it there. And then come into a deep runner's lunge. Breathing deeply. And just drop the back knee down where it is. And either keep your back toes tucked under or you can take the tops of the feet down. Now shift this left hip back as you lead your chest forward and get a nice hamstring stretch in this half Hanumanasana. Keep drawing your toes back towards your face. Take one more breath here. And come back into a runner's lunge. Take a breath here. And shift that hip back, flex the foot. Yep, Hanumanasana, breathing. And coming back into a runner's lunge. Working your hands above the knee. So really keep working this right hip forward and down. The left hip back. Chest open. Take one more breath here. And then bringing your hands back down to your mat. Just tuck your toes under, lift your knee up. Ground through the back heel, keep the front knee bent, and just reach forward to lift yourself up into your variation of Warrior One. And take 2 breaths here. Maybe your arms are open, shoulder distance, or together. Taking your arms out. Thumbs down, reach around, bind, open through the heart, and then just humble, lead your chest forward, keep grounding through both feet, and let the shoulder blades roll up towards the ears as the head drops down towards the ground, and the arms reach up and over. Take 2 breaths here for 1. And 2. And then lead your chest forward to lift yourself back up. Release your arms. Reach your arms back up. Again, maybe your arms stay open this time. Feel the energy coming into your body, sending good vibes out to the world. Staying connected with your mind and your body. Reach your arms forward. Lengthen, reaching out. Taking your hands down. Step your left foot back and up into a three-legged dog. Drop your left foot beside the right. Lower your knees down. Bring your knees together, your shins together. Set your hips back to your heels. You can keep your arms reaching forward. And take your hands back towards your heels. Take your forehead to your knees. Draw your chin to your chest. Take 2 breaths here. And maybe reaching for your heels, lifting your hips up. Let your chin draw to your chest in a rabbit pose. And gently hips back to heels and lift yourself up. Bringing your hands to your heart, gazing out over your fingertips, coming back to the intention, even if it was just a word of joy, laughter, lightness, health, peace, resolve, joy, love, peace, laughter. And we're going to continue on with our flow. So come back to your hands and knees and tuck your toes under and lift your hips up. You're in a downward facing dog. Again, your feet may be further back. They may be closer to your hands. You find yourself pushing away as if you're drawing a car up the hill with your hands, or a wagon up a hill. You find your feet drawing back, splitting your mat apart, sensation of that. And just gazing forward and slowly tiptoe your feet to your hands. Come to a half lift. Exhale, fold it in. And bend your knees and sink your hips and sit in your chair. Gaze up and come back to standing in Samastitihi. And take a nice wide stance out to the long edge of your mat. Here we go. Wrist distance apart. Good. And reach through your fingertips. Let your shoulder blades spread apart, reaching away. Let your collarbones spread wide. Lift your chest and take your thumbs down as you reach back around for your palms or your elbows. And again, open through your heart. Stay nice and open. Draw your front body back to your spine and just fold forward. So let your hips go back as your chest comes forward. Let the crown of the head come down as the arms come up and over the head. And take 2 breaths here. And then gently lift yourself back up. Bend your knees as you need to. Go easy on the joints. And then inhale, reach the arms out. And exhale, take the hands forward, shoulder distance apart, and bring the hands down so that they're directly in line with your shoulders. Now putting a bend into the right knee, you can either keep your hands center line or begin to take your hands towards your right foot, grounding through that left foot. For some, they like to pivot on the heel, take the toes to the sky, that's fine too. And then coming over to the left side, so you're moving through Skandasana. Just taking a nice stretch for your inner thigh. Everybody's going to have their own place where they go to. So just listen to your body. Maybe you choose to take your hands to your heart. You can stay here, moving from side to side, breathing deeply. Inhale and exhale, and over to the other side. Inhale and exhale, and then coming back to center. So just taking your hands out towards your legs. Maybe you reach your toes, your ankles, your shins below the knee, and take a half lift. And exhale, just fold in. Maybe the crown of the head is coming down to the ground. Maybe you're just working in that direction. Now take a deep inhale. And exhale, bring your hands to your waist. And exhale and inhale. Now bend your knees in the direction of your toes. Tuck your tail under to round yourself up. And reach your arms out. Once again. Now taking your right toes and point them towards the short edge of your mat. And put a deep bend into that right knee. So you're in a warrior two. Gazing out over your right fingertips. Lengthening. And then straighten the right leg and reach your arms up. Bring your palms together. Inhale. And exhale back into your warrior two. And straighten the right leg and gaze up. Look up. And exhale back to your warrior two. Now from your warrior two, take your forearm to your right knee. And take the left hand to the left hip and open the chest to the long edge of the mat. And maybe reach your right arm up and over your bicep to your ear and your gaze to your inner elbow. Following the gaze to your fingertips as you breathe for 3, 2, 1. And then coming back into your warrior two position for 1 breath. And straighten your right leg and reach out over the right leg into a triangle pose. So your hand can come down your shin to the ground or to your toe. You open your chest to the long edge of the mat. And you take your left arm up, or you can keep it on your waist as you gaze to the left corners of your eyes. And take 3 breaths here for 1, 2, and 3. And then slowly rise back up, coming back into a warrior two. And straighten the right leg and take your feet parallel to one another. As you point your left toes towards the front of your mat, the short edge of the mat, and coming into a warrior two position. Gazing to your middle finger. Chest is open to the long edge of the mat. Take 1 more breath here. And straighten that left leg as your arms come up and over, biceps to ears. Lift the chin, lift the gaze on the inhale. And exhale, find the length in the arms and the spine as you come melt back into your strong warrior. And inhale, arms up and over, palms together, gaze up. And exhale into your warrior two. Again, inhale. And exhale. Warrior two. Breathe into Utthita Parasuttanasana. The forearms to the left knee. The right arm up and over. Now the other option is keep the hand on the waist and just roll the chest open and maybe gaze to the right corners of your eyes, or continue to draw that right arm up and over, gaze to your inner elbow, to the palm for 3 breaths for 1, 2, 3. And rising back into your warrior 2 position. And straighten that left leg. And just reach out over that leg for your triangle pose, taking it to where your body is open today, is allowing you to go. Mind and body working together. And the right arm might come up as you gaze out, down or up for 3, for 1, 2, 3. And slowly lift yourself back up, come back into your warrior 2 position. And straighten that leg. Pivot your feet so both feet are parallel to the long edge of the mat. And then you want to heel, toe, your feet closer together. So now your heels are about elbow distance apart. Okay? So now you're going to pivot on your heels so that all 10 toes facing probably the back side of the short edge of your mat. Hips are squared, ribs squared. Reach your arms up. And we're going to draw your front body back to your spine, your bundles engaged. As you extend your arms forward and maybe down to the ground or to some blocks if you need your blocks. And keep working your chest forward and then folding out over that right leg and draw your chin in, let your head go. Relax through the back of the neck and take 3 breaths here. And slowly rise up. You can bend that front knee if that helps you rise up more safely, just lifting up. And then pivot around to the other side. So you can go as deep as you'd like with this. If you knew taking your hands around in reverse prayer position, you may do that. Otherwise, I'm working with my arms up this afternoon, bringing my chest open, my gaze up, keeping my biceps to my ears. Lead with your chin, reach your chest forward, and then wherever you land, just bring your hands down to help support yourself and maybe push back into the weight into your back heel, and then try to equalize the weight in both feet. As you lift your rib cages forward, square your hips, and then fold out over that left leg and let your head go and take 3 breaths. This should feel a really nice, deep, soft stretch. And breathe for 3, 2, and 1. And again, if you need to bend that front knee because it puts too much pressure on the joint, just bend the knee. If you want to reach your arms forward to lift yourself up, just coming back up. Take your hands out and down and step your back foot forward. You should be standing back at the front of the mat, back into Samasthiti. We're going to make our way to our back. So inhale, reach your arms up. Taking the vinyasa flow to get there. Exhale, breath coordinated movements as your vinyasa. Hands down. Inhale, half lift. And step back into your plank position. And from here, just drop your knees. Cross at your ankles. And work your hands back towards your body as you extend your legs nice and long out in front of you. And just lay down onto your back. So stretching out, lengthening out from your fingertips to your toes. And just noticing how you feel. And without attaching to any thoughts or circumstances in your body or in your mind. Just noticing. Now bending your knees and reach forward towards your heels. So we're going to work our shoulder blades a little closer to one another so your chest feels supported. And we're going to move up and down into 3 back bends. We're dealing with moving into bridge. So your feet can be slightly in front of your knees so that when you lift your hips up, your knees will rock forward and your knees will then be in line with your heels. So work your shoulder blades together, and you can stay in any variation that you know for 3 breaths. For 1, engage your buttocks, engage your bandhas. 2, 3, and then slowly lower it back down. You can also do bridge with your arms up and over your head. It's another variation that some of you may like. So you're going to inhale, lift up, and hold this for 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Again, just moving into what variation of back bend serves your body. Maybe you put a block underneath you. I'll use a block that I have here. So you would inhale, lift up, and the block would go on your sacrum above the tailbone, not directly on your lower spine. And breathe, even though the sacrum is parted. But take 3 breaths. You don't want it directly on your lumbar spine or your thoracic. And then inhale, lift your hips and remove the block from underneath you. Good. So now gently reach long from your fingertips to your toes. And work your right knee into your right shoulder. Now crossing the right knee to the left, and maybe keeping your arms teed out, gaze in the opposite direction from which your knees are moving. So gaze to the right, knees to the left. And drawing your right knee back in. Extend your leg to the sky, and then use your hands to lift your torso up towards your leg, gazing towards your toes. Maybe spread your toes apart for 3 breaths. For 1, 2, 3. Lowering your head down and placing your leg forward and down, hugging the left knee into the left shoulder. Crossing the knee to the right, gazing to the left. Drawing the knee back into center. Extending the leg to the sky, using your hands to support you as you lift up. You can gaze forward or gaze towards your toes, maybe spread your toes wide. For 3, 2, 1, and lower your head back down as you release your knee in towards your left shoulder. Now draw your right knee in to your right shoulder and lift both legs up to the sky. Now flex your toes. Maybe you can reach your toes with your hands. If not, take your hands to your calves or behind your hamstrings. And just open your legs out nice and wide. Reach through the heels so that you're flexing your foot. Feel your shoulder blades grounding, your lower back grounding. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Maybe you're reaching for your shins here, drawing your feet towards you, letting your knees open up. Taking a full breath here. And straighten your legs once again back up towards the sky. Again, if you reach for the toes or the calves or the thighs, you want to open your legs out, flex and reach to the heels. And bring the soles of the feet together. Maybe binding your hands around the feet, drawing the feet closer to you as your knees open up. And then extending your legs back up to the sky. Now crisscross your legs. Maybe take your hands under your hips first. Support your lower back, engage your abs. And just crisscross, really hugging as you cross your legs. Hug them together, open them up, hug them together. And continue to do so as you bring your feet down to the ground and settle into Shavasana in your corpse pose. Once you get there, situate your body so that you're in a place of comfort with ease. Maybe find that cleansing breath, a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it all go through the mouth. Now grounding down. Feeling your eyes heavy in your eye socket, your jaw completely relaxed, your tongue is released from the roof of the mouth or the backs of the teeth. Your shoulders, feel them grounding down. Your hips down, thighs, knees, calves open. Toes open, palms are by your side, facing up, or one is on the belly and one is on the heart. Your breath is moving freely. You are completely at ease in your mind and your body, connecting as one. The earth is supporting you, and you're finding stillness and just noticing your breath, maybe following your breath, and allowing your mind to be clear, so thoughts that come in, you're allowing them to move on, just acknowledging them and letting them pass by you as though they were a beautiful cloud in the sky, or maybe even a dark cloud in the sky. It's just passing by your thoughts. Your mind may still be busy. So the mind, if it focuses on the breath, will find a way of stillness into a deeper meditation, a silent meditation. Place where the transformation will begin from your practice. And just stay here in Shavasana for 5 minutes or even 10 minutes. I'll leave you in Shavasana. Peace, 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 and namaste.